Hope you are having a great day. And today, with a gimbal that supports compact cameras like this one right over here, the Sony ZV-1, it also supports mirrorless cameras, action cameras, or even mobile phones. Basically, it supports any kind of camera. This is the Hohem iSteady MT2, which is a gimbal that, in my opinion, is really interesting because of several factors. One of which is the carrying case. Now it comes really well packed, but besides that, as we have seen in some images, it comes in this carrying case. By the way, when I'm transporting the gimbal, I can lock it, and this is a really nice touch. I can lock in 3 different positions, which is really easy, and for transportation is just great, either using this bag or any other bag. Now, one of the things that I did notice, and it was really a pleasant surprise, is that it brings every single cable that we require. So when we buy something like this, we will naturally need to buy one cable for one camera, or if I have a different camera, I will need another cable. In this particular case, we have cables for everything, and there's this kind of cable that is really small, and it will fit right over here on a mobile phone or in a camera, which is hard to find, but Hohem did include them here, which is a really great touch. And we can use it with basically any camera, and you can check out the specifications down below to see the limitation that it has. But for example, my camera, my main camera, which is the Sony ZV-10, I took it to the beach, I was able to use it, and the only lens that I use on my Sony camera, because it's a camera that stays here all the time, is a 16mm, which is long with 1.4 aperture, and it's really heavy, so that means that it's long and the weight will be at the end. So we have several adjustments that we can do right over here. This is one, for example. I can just slide to one side or to the other. Right over here at the bottom also I can slide to one side or the other, and it's really easy to just put in the camera and balance it. And now with the Sony ZV-10, and at the same time we have a great image quality and also the tracking function. And right now with a image that it's a bit darker, so I'm able to use my 16mm 1.4 lens that I've got right over there. But if we go to a brighter place, and I've got the tracking right over here, you'll see that the image will get blown away. But right now we are just judging the gimbal, which is awesome. I can use a GoPro, I can use an Insta360, I can use a ZV-10 or any other DSLR, and actually my lens is really heavy, really long, so I believe that you might be able to use any kind of DSLR or even point and shoots, even with big lenses, so just great. But more specifications down below on the link that I will leave, and you will see what is the maximum weight that you can use on this gimbal. Just awesome. And using my ZV-10 is a bit weird, but I do believe that the image quality that we can get right over here with the gimbal function and being able to freely use the gimbal on my hands or even on this tripod and giving you a kind of image that otherwise would be impossible. Another great surprise was how easy it is to change from mobile phone to compact camera to DSLR. And actually, if I want to change right now, for example, I can just open this lever right over here. One of the things is that it's easy to remove, but it has a safety junction right over here. So if I don't press the button, it will not fall. But it's easy as this. So it's not only B-rolls on the video, I can just right over here change this. For example, if I had a phone, I just need to put this one in and then scroll it, and there we go. And probably if I had to adjust anything, adjust like this or like this, and that is it. Basically as easy as I'm doing right now with you guys, which is really, really simple. Just press this and there we go. I could put my mirrorless camera right over here and bam. And if it's not well balanced, I just need to open and adjust to see if it's balanced or not, and it is. And bam, there we go, ready. If I connect it, it's ready to start using. So it's as easy as this. And I honestly thought that being a gimbal that could be used for 4 different devices, I would need to use a manual. And truth is that I still haven't read. I did just open it up for the unboxing, and that was it. It's so simple, and hopefully I could share with you how easy it is to use it. So simple. Hohem did a great job that for the final user is really a simple experience. Now, in terms of accessories, we have 2 1/4-inch threads, one here on the right side and another one here on the top. So if I want to use LED lights or microphones or whatever, I can just put it right over here, and that is it. So if I want to use any accessory, I can just put in a light or external microphone, for example, and then boost up my setup, one here on the right side and the other one on the top, just near to the AI tracking device. And talking about AI tracking, and now with the Sony ZV-1, and this is a lighter camera, so it's easier to use. But one of the things that I really enjoy is the tracking. I just need to do this, and at this moment I'm not on the center of the image. I did decide to put in more to one side, but we can decide and change it as easy as this. I just need to put my hands like this and then decide where I want to appear on the frame, do like this, and it will fix that point. And right now I can share with you this part of the image, and if I walk around you will see that it will capture one side more than the other one, because probably I want to show a different kind of image. I just need to do this, the image will flash, and right now if I do this it will capture, and if I go to that side I can show you the village of Ferragudo is just right over here. So for this kind of video it's just awesome. And I do notice that if I'm too close to the edge it will try to give me a smooth movement, but sometimes if I'm too close it will do a jitter. So we will need to have that in mind when framing ourselves, but other than that, just doing a great job. On the right side there is a power on off button, a USB Type-C port. Talking about USB Type-C ports, you also have 2 right over here, one to control the camera, which we will see in just a few moments, and the other one just for power only, if we want to connect an external device like a light or a microphone that needs power, then we have that right over here, which is great. Now we also have on the front a OLED display providing the information about the various available models and functions of the gimbal. It has a directional joystick, a button to switch between modes like the pan and follow, which is PF, that only allows lateral movement with the tilt locked. Then we also have the point and tilt follow that follows in both directions. The L means that it's all lock, which doesn't follow any direction at all and it stays always centered. And then we have the POV, which stays centered but has a slower tracking. At the back there's also a trigger that activates the sports mode, which is great when we are following sports or when we are following a pet, a cat, or something that runs fast, children, and we need a faster movement, so it will respond to that. Now the same button is used for one of my favorite features, which is the 180 degrees for selfie mode, or for directing it to the front. There's a shutter button that can trigger the capture as well, whether on a mobile phone connected via Bluetooth or a camera like this one that I've got right over here, the Sony ZV-1, that when connected I can control with the button. Now besides that, I can also, to take a picture, make a thumbs up gesture, and it will take a picture after a few seconds. Or it will start and stop the video recording if we are using a mobile phone, for example, or if we are using an action camera connected via Bluetooth. On the left side, there's also a wheel, which is really interesting, and it will control the intensity of the LED light on the artificial intelligence sensor. In addition to the intensity, we can also control the color temperature, and if we want RGB, we can control it as well with the wheel, and if we press the button, we can scroll through the different options, intensity, the colors, and so on and so forth. Now, besides that, with the same wheel, we can control the gimbal's tilt angle, left or right, a function that works with any camera or phone, by the way. And if we are using a phone, we can adjust the focus, for example, and if we want to control the zoom, there's a slide button next to the recording button that works for both phones and cameras. I did test out with the ZV-1, worked great. Additionally, we can also use our phone as a remote control to manage the gimbal, so we can do those directional movements, we can take pictures, and we can also do a 180 rotation, which is great if I'm using the gimbal far away, and if I want to, well, Bluetooth far away reach, and if I want, then boom, it will speed 180 degrees and then back again, which is awesome. In terms of the gimbal itself and the stabilization, I was really happy with the results, having in mind that I love this camera, but it's so shaky. Right now with the Sony ZV-10 on the Hohem gimbal, which is a camera that usually I do not use outside home, but in this particular case, totally fine with a great stabilization. And one of the reasons that I don't use outside home is that it's big, it's heavy, and the stabilization, although it has a great image quality, is not the best. But at this moment, I'm using the gimbal, and I'm not turning to that side because I have a really wide angle lens with 1.4, and if I go to that side with the image, it will be all blown away. So here I will be able to give you a better image quality. By the way, this is the camera that I use on my studio for all my recordings, but it's always steady. And at this moment, with this gimbal, I will be able to use this camera as any other camera on the go, which is just awesome. And the last time that we took the ZV-1 out here, we were comparing with the ZV-1F. And in terms of image quality, I love both of them. Actually, I love Sony cameras because of image quality, but I know that they are not very reliable in terms of stabilization. And we can do a lot of work afterwards, but if we have something, now we can do everything that we have seen so far, but besides that, stabilize the image, that would be an awesome experience. And right now I'm just rotating the camera so that we can imitate a shaking kind of scenario. And right now, let's do something which is to run a little bit as well, just to try and find out if I can use the Sony ZV-1, which is an awesome camera in terms of image quality, but in terms of stabilization, not really. But if we can join that with the Hohem gimbal, then that will be a game-changing scenario. And wow, right now I'm not really sure if we are getting a good image or not, especially on the vertical bouncing. On the other ones, on the other angles, it's just an awesome experience for what I've been watching right over here. And at last, during the winter, we have a great day of sunshine, so never mind the image quality that we get in some transitions like this, because we are not reviewing the ZV-1, we have done that in the past, but we are reviewing the movements of the Hohem. And if you are wondering if you can record with a setup like this at night, and the LED is so small, so probably it's not going to give me enough light, let's take a look. And now completely dark, and we are recording with the Sony ZV-1, and the test right now is about the included LED light on the AI module. Now this is with 100% of light, and of course I've got the ZV-1 with automatic settings, so if I decrease the light, the camera will start boosting ISO. ISO at this moment is 6400, which is a lot, so we will have a lot of image degradation, as we can see. Actually, I'm seeing on this screen, so you probably will even see better on bigger screen. Now, if I turn the light back on, there we go, ISO going down to 2000 more or less, and here we are. And the focus, I can see on my eye that it works a lot better like this. So let me know down below in the comment section, but to me it looks like I could record a video during nighttime without any issues whatsoever. And even if I wanted to show some scenery at the back, I would so without issues, and probably I would decrease a little bit of the light. I don't know, it's a bit too harsh depending if it's too close or not. So the Hohem iSteady MT2 is so far the most complete gimbal that we have seen and that I've used. I'm really enjoying, especially for the simplicity of usage. It is a complex device which was really well built with the final user in mind, and this is probably my favorite feature, along with all the others, that just makes this an awesome tool for content creators or even anyone that wants to have fun, but it's doing that alone and it wants to capture some action. Now, I would say that probably this would be very useful for those content creators that have some kind of movements on the action, something a little bit different from this kind of footage, that it's static, so it's easy. I can put it just on top of a chair or stuff like that, don't even need a tripod. But if I need movement, then this is a great addition. Now, one of the things that I did not share is that it's so easy to remove this camera and put another one, but if I want to record in portrait mode, it's also very easy, and I can use the compact camera, portrait mode, a mirrorless camera, or an action camera, or even a phone. So a great versatility. And when we look at the price point that it has compared to other gimbals that are only used for a phone or only for a compact camera or only for a mirrorless camera, and the prices start to step up a lot faster, and we realize that this one has a package which is an all-in-one, and besides that, AI tracking. Wow. Hope that you enjoyed the video and that I could pass to that side of the screen the great experience that I'm having with the MT2, and it really will help out to create content in a different way and different scenarios. If that was the case, don't forget the usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.